From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.
What's up, world? It's the one and only Pop DBICD Primetime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. And man, oh man, it is going to be a good day today. We're going to go ahead and talk about some boxing and everything like that. So pretty much let's go ahead and get it clued in right now. So pretty much what we got going on in the boxing world. We have an announcement here, and it's going to be confirmed now that AJ and Fury will be fighting in England, in the UK on the 3rd of December. Probably the biggest fight of the year, pretty much, because we were promised so many big fights this year, but we did not get these big fights this year. But England has delivered again. We've been getting a lot of the women's fights and everything like that. It was going to be fun last weekend until the Queen passed on, and making it to where we couldn't get that great double hitter between Alicia Baumgartner and Michaela Mayer, and then the main event between these were just arch rivals in every facet and form, black versus white, just everything. Marshall and Clarissa Shields. So, you know, the long anticipated fights that still got to wait until October 15th. But we got this confirmed in the process. And I think that they're doing something huge for their country right now. I think that they know that they want to cheer up some folks and everything like that. The Queen just passed away, and they want to give them a treat for December for Christmas, I can see here. So it looks, this was pretty much some really good matchmaking and things of that nature. And, you know, everything came together, even though they already tried to make this deal happen before AJ did fight Usyk. So, you know, this is stuff that we're looking at, and we're telling ourselves that, you know, hey, it's time. So pretty much, you know, Fury is fighting him now when he doesn't have any belts, and you know, he won't get all the press, and he won't be seen as the big favorite. This is the best possible scenario for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua has been the favorite in every single fight he's ever been in. This will be the first ever fight he's not the favorite. So this is going to be huge because it's the year. To me, in heavyweights, it's always the dog. The dog will bite you. And I think that him as a dog, him knowing that this might not be, he might not get this opportunity again. Well, he's going to get these opportunities as much as he wants to because the guy packs the house. But still, if he gets to go ahead and have this fight and everything goes according to plan, I think that we're on to something huge. This is a historical fight. They already have a second fight agreed upon in case, you know, AJ wins and everything like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean they have to stick to it, but they do have a second fight. So all in all, if AJ wins the first fight, it'll most likely be a trilogy. You know what I mean? But can AJ do exactly what Wilder couldn't do? Finish Tyson Fury off? And I think that, you know, I'm still going to argue to anybody to this day because you were at home, a lot of you guys. I was in the arena, and Fury was dead. Literally, like I really did not know why Jack Reese kept the fight going. And then we fast forward to last Saturday, and he let Austin McBroom get knocked down 5 times. So now that decision is not that crazy to me anymore. But in that type of scenario, in that type of situation, you could have just belt Wilder out, so we could have just got straight to the AJ Wilder trilogy. You know what I mean? But Fury is fun. He's the Homer Simpson of boxing. So pretty much people love this guy, and they can't get enough of him. He just, every time he steps out, I just always think he should be playing Why Can't We Be Friends? And literally, you know, he's gonna get killed by Dredrick Tatum, but he doesn't get killed by Dredrick Tatum. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Fury AJ set for December 3rd. It's going to be a huge event all over the world, to be exact. And I think that the winner, if it's AJ, they'll be looking for a fight with Wilder. And from what I'm hearing, there might be a Wilder Fury 4. And I don't think anybody would say no to that. So there it is. There it is. Big news, big heavyweight news. My favorite division. We got ourselves a fight. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on, and pretty much let's go ahead and jump into our next topic at hand, and that's going to be the next big fight. I'm talking boxing here in our first segment, and I can't keep boxing in the background because you know how it is. I'm in the boxing world, so I got to go ahead and talk about it. So here we are, Canelo Triple G, the trilogy. I really didn't care for this fight to happen, but I know that this is a fight that the fans have been demanding, and they got their demand granted. But literally, everybody wanted the Canelo Triple G fight about 2 years ago, back in 2019, 3 years ago to be exact. 2019, he goes to the Garden, he fights Rocky Feld, and everybody thought it was going to be Triple G again. No, he goes and fights Danny Jacobs. That didn't, Then he moves on again and he fights. What do you do? He fought somebody in November. Then he fought Kovalev in September. Then he comes back around, and we have COVID issues. Now he winds up fighting in Miami versus Yildirim. Then he moves on and fights again with somebody else, and then he gets the big fight with Caleb Plant last summer. He gets that was huge, and then we come around this year. Canelo is getting tired of Canelo. Bivol beats him. So Canelo, I think that Canelo kind of had ran his course a little bit on the dominant run, that people were getting a little sick and tired of how he was selecting his opponents. Then he goes at the opponent that actually gave him a real issue and loses the fight. So a lot of people are now like, well, Canelo's ordinary. Well, let's not say that. Canelo is a guy that is the face of boxing, but the face of boxing does not last forever. And Canelo, I think, is at his end point of the top of his popularity, meaning the top of his talent. His popularity has peaked, in my opinion. He can't get any more new fans. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is with Canelo at the end of the day. He couldn't beat Floyd Mayweather. He couldn't beat Bivol. And a lot of people use that as a measurement on how they judge boxers. But Canelo, I can say this, and I know a lot of my bromigos are going to probably not like when I say this, but I think Canelo is the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. Man or woman. I know Julio Cesar Chavez gets all the grace because he was able to fight with his heart. And, if he had to come back, he could come back. He always had fights that entertain the crowds. I think Canelo's fights have been way more entertaining than Julio Cesar Chavez's fights. And I think that Canelo was built in a way to become a rock star superstar. I say that when you're just as big in this game as Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd Mayweather, nobody will probably, I sound crazy, but both of those guys were mentors for him in a sense. You look at Floyd from a distance, you have Oscar in your ear. So he's created a great business around him. So, at the end of the day, if Canelo wins this fight, great. If he loses this fight, no big deal. Canelo has done so much more than what was expected of him in the game. They knew he was a great talent and everything like that, but you have to make sure that great talent cashes the check, and that's exactly what Canelo did. Now, you got Triple G here, who's literally probably on his last leg. You know what I mean? And he's going to make a lot of money from this fight. And I think this time around, I haven't been behind Triple G in either one of the first fights, but this time around, I got this weird feeling that Triple G has figured out everything that he needs to do against Canelo. That's why he demanded this fight. Canelo didn't want this fight. Canelo wanted to move on, get on with his life, fight the Charlos, the Benavideses of the world and everything like that. But there was a promise made to Eddie Hearn. And I think when he lost Bivol, it was like this. If you lose to Bivol, we choose your next opponent. You beat him, you can fight whoever you want. So we get to the fight. Fight happens. Bivol wins. Now he has to go ahead and do exactly what the Zone signed him up for the $350 million for, to fight Triple G. They never had the intention of signing Canelo on the fact that they thought he was going to be the biggest star for the platform. They just always wanted the Triple G Canelo fight. They were talking about this shit when I was in New York for the Rocky fight. That was all what was on DAZN's mind, was making that fight happen. And now they've made that fight happen 3 years later. So here we are. Canelo versus Triple G3. Let me just get down to the actual just gusto of it. I think what happens here is that Canelo possibly gets knocked out for the first time. Because for Triple G to really win the fight, he has to knock Canelo out. And everybody knows this. Because if the fight's close, it'll probably go to Canelo. But if he actually sits in there and dominates him, it can still go to Canelo. Because, Canelo throws a lot of body shots and throws a lot of punches that miss, but looks like they connected. So you got that in your court. So all in all, he does have a lot of odds stacked up against him, but I truly do think that this guy does have a golden opportunity to avenge those first two losses. And I like Triple G going into Saturday. I'm gonna be honest with you. I really do like Triple G going into Saturday's fight. Now, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But I really do like Triple G going into that fight. I think that it'll work out very well for him, and we'll see where it goes from there. But there it is, Triple G, Canelo trilogy. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our final topic before we go to commercial, and that's going to be, is Shakur Stevenson slowly becoming the face of boxing? Now, Shakur Stevenson is a very, 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 very talented boxer, in my opinion. Very talented boxer. Very talented, and he's being moved the right way. The right way. Straight up, the right way. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. And I just truly do think that the way that his approach to the game and the way that he's listening is the golden ticket of how he's going to be very successful. So, all it is at the end of the day is this. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not tripping here because it is so humid out today. The humidity is messing with me hard. 60% humidity, 77 degrees weather. So, yeah, I just thought I was kind of tripping a little bit because it's cloudy and I'm sweating a little bit. But, yeah, I'm good. But pretty much I think that Shakur Stevenson's being built the right way. He has a fight coming up next week on the 23rd on a Friday as well, too. A lot of people are going to be very excited about that fight. It's going to be an ESPN fight as well. And ESPN is making sure they're featuring him on a night where they don't have college football. They'll have a college football game, but they won't have the late college football game. They'll have his fight. And I think that this is going to be something spectacular because he has Jahai Tucker on the card as well, too. Bruce Carrington's on the card as well. And I think that what they're trying to do is they're building a new stable for Black boxers. You know what I mean? A new home. You got Devin Haney there as well, too. And they are featuring these guys on ESPN. So literally right now, Top Rank might be the OG on the block, might be the guy that a lot of you young guys want to go to because they are bringing Shakur Stevenson up the correct way. They're taking their time. They're taking things slow. They got him a belt at 126. He got him 2 belts at 130. And he's already talking about moving up to 135. You know that he's not sitting around at any of these divisions. And at the end of the day, they all talk about being the undisputed, unified, all that good stuff. But they all know that those sanction fees cost a lot of money. And you got to come out of a lot of money out of the pocket when you're doing these fights as well, too, to defend all those belts. So, you got to keep making more money. So you can't keep trying to collect all the belts because then that'll make you go broke, right? So Shakur is a different type of animal to me, in my opinion. I think that the rise to power is such a swift one, but you just want to make sure the kid humbles himself. He's a good kid. I know you guys say that. Well, he is humble. I've interviewed him before. I've been around him before, and he's very confident in what he's doing. But I don't know if he has the right friends around him. I know he has the right OGs around him, but I don't know if he has the right friends around him. And, he's a kid from Jersey. They move a little different. They think a little differently. But I think, though, at the end of the day, as he keeps winning and as he keeps making more money, and if he marries the young lady that he proposed to at his last fight and gets himself some stability and things like that, everything should work out the way that it's being planned up. Because pretty much he's a guy truly with the Floyd Mayweather blueprint. Peep this: Bob Arum, your promoter; Jay Prince, your manager. So that's Floyd. That's exactly what Floyd did to get the money, to get the notoriety, to get the fame. And it was a slow build. It truly was. And then in the fights that they thought he was going to have problems in was his finest hours. So all in all, Shakur Stevenson is slowly becoming the face of boxing because he's literally, ding, ding, I'm here. And guys were sitting at lightweight forever. Now he's talking about going to 135. Everybody, oh, I'm 140. I'm 147. So it's the same steps. It's the same issues. It's the same thing I saw 20 years ago. When Floyd was chasing Oscar and Shane, they was running off trying to get the bag. He's doing the same thing with the likes of the world of Devin Haney's and Ryan Garcia's and Lomas and things of that nature. He's ready for all of them. And when you got that type of confidence, you're going to go far in this game. So with that, we'll go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And when I get back, we'll go ahead and we'll get into some baseball. All right. So you guys stay tuned. This is the Premier Sports Betting Show, the PrimeTime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, the PrimeTime Capper.
Now you and your friends can compete in the sport of kings and win big with Stable Duel. Get the app, pick your horses, and get in on the thrill of horse racing with daily games competing against other players. Bring home the glory and the cash and move up the annual leaderboard while you leave your competition in the dust. Get in the game with Stable Duel. Play, race, win.
Good News Only Racing Club, led by the legendary Doug O'Neill, the trainer of 2 Kentucky Derby winners and I'll Have Another and Nyquist. Also trained 2-time Breeders' Cup champ Golden Sense, who are just a part of a long list of thoroughbred champions trained by Doug O'Neill. The Good News Only Racing Club has a young core of horses to look out for in Dennis's Celery, Irish Heatwave, and Notre Dame, just to name a few. Win the day every day with the Good News Only Racing Club, a proud sponsor of the NFL Bet Exchange.
All right, we're back with the PrimeTime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase. Tomorrow, 8 a.m., we will be doing the NFL Bet Exchange. Me and Jeff got to do it pretty early tomorrow. So if you guys are up at 8 a.m., join us for the show. But I would expect that you guys can watch it throughout the day. But NFL Bet Exchange will be ready tomorrow at 8 a.m. And then I'll probably have the PrimeTime Angles Live going for you at noon. So there it is. So pretty much let's jump into some baseball real quick. And last night, the Dodgers went ahead and won their counted ninth division title in the last 10 years. And it would have been 10 in a row if they didn't lose if the Giants didn't upend them last year. But last night, Blue Crew, 9th West title in 10 years. Kershaw throws 7 scoreless innings. The Dodgers, man, absolutely incredible right now. They're up 20 games in the division. They're literally they've been the 1 seed for about the last 6 weeks. To be honest, they're well ahead of who's the next team as well too. Now the Dodgers easily could go ahead and just run a AAA lineup for the next few weeks and still have the best record in the league. That's just how good they are at this moment. 2 wins away from 100 wins. The Dodgers might be the only team that gets 100 wins this year because the Mets were on pace, the Yankees were on pace, but then they ran into some buzzsaws, and things get a little different. So all in all, the Dodgers, I don't have much to say, but damn good job. And last night, the Dodgers did on 4 home runs. 4 home runs last night. It seemed like they was getting them all from all their guys. Joey Gallo hit a home run last night. Freddie Freeman hit a home run last night. Muncy hit a home run last night. I think Betts hit a home run last night as well, too. And the Dodgers were very businesslike in their celebration. They were having fun. They were spraying on each other, but they knew. They said, okay, let the guys, we're going to dose up the guys that ain't never been here before. Because we know we got some guys on this team that was sitting in MLB just nothing. You know what I mean? Just, hey, we're going to win 70 games a season. You a good player. Just get your paycheck. Now they like, hey, this winning thing is fun. Hey, let's celebrate a little bit. Let's get some champagne in us. Yeah, that's the game. That's what you gotta love about the game. So the Dodgers, man, I'm not gonna say much else, but congratulations. And they went ahead and did that. I know me and Mike will be talking about this on his show either tomorrow or sometime next week. I know me and Mike will be getting into some baseball talk very soon. So that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm seeing. And there it is. Blue Crew Daily. And Dodgers clinched their ninth title in the West, baby. All right. And on to the playoffs. But the Dodgers already know it's ring or bust right now. It's not about getting there. It's about winning the ring. So there it is. There it is. All right. So let's move on. And let's jump into what we got going as our primetime game of the day. The primetime game of the day is going to be this. It's going to be the Rays at the Jays, 79-62 for the Rays. Blue Jays are 80-62. The under is 7.5 for this. I got the pick being the under at 7.5. I'm doing this because this is a matchup where you got two teams chasing a playoff spot, but at the end of the day, this team is really trying to make sure that they're in course and in rhythm from when they get to the playoffs. They can be right on point. You know what I mean? So pretty much Blue Jays, Rays, they're battling out, trying to still get that, get that comfort, get that need, get what you need to get going. And pretty much from what I'm seeing here, they're coming out of this series. It's a 4-game series. They're trying to have this series even. Now, when you look at the stats and everything like that, the standings, you got both these teams behind New York, but they know that they have to solidify these playoff spots. Toronto is the number 1 wild card. Tampa Bay is number 3. Tampa Bay has a 5-game lead over the Orioles, but that means nothing. They still want to find themselves somewhat a little bit more up there, because they get Cleveland in the first round. And, and from what I'm seeing here, they get Cleveland in the first round. So that's who they would get. But if they moved up, they would get Toronto in the first round, and then they could have a shot at the Yankees, who are now the 2 seed. Because the way it works is like this. The lowest seed will play the first seed, and the second highest seed will play the second seed. So the second lowest seed will play the second seed. So pretty much if Tampa won that series and say Seattle beats Cleveland, then they would have to meet up with the Yankees. But if they go ahead and they're at 6 and they beat Cleveland, they can get Houston, which might be the matchup that they want a little bit more, because we all remember they beat Houston in the world to get to the World Series. So, well, did they beat the Yankees? I'm sorry, because I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they beat the Astros on the way to beating the Yankees. So I got to put that into fruition, because that happened. And what do we do here? So pretty much there it is. The Bet Us primetime game of the day. We're going to take the under 7.5 with the Blue Jays and the Rays. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But there it is. There it is. All right. So let's move on and get into our next big play. And that's going to be the dog bet of the day, which is going to be the Royals at plus 165. The Royals today plus 165 with the plus 165 for us. This is fun. Royals money line plus 165. Our dog bet of the day. So dog bet of the day. There it is, the Royals. I like them tonight because they got my man Zach Greinke going on the mound, and this could be some of his final games in the MLB as well too. So he's going to try to make sure he goes out on top. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take it like this. I'm going to take the plus 165 here with the Royals. I think that the Royals, they're always a little tricky here. This is a good game, and I just feel it's a really good game for them today as well, too. I just think that this spot works out really good, really well for them. And and I just think that the pitching matchup calls for it because it should be a good pitcher's duel. That's what it really should be. So, that's what I'm expecting, but I'm expecting the Royals to come out on top in this as well, too. So there it is, the dog bet of the day, the Royals money line, and man, there it is. Plus 165 to the Royals money line. All right, so let's go ahead, move into our next topic in hand. That's going to be talking tickets. And there we are. And here we are. MLB PK6, 61-1, plus 1.5 with the Nats, under 7.5 with the Rays and the Jays, minus 1.5 with the Mets, minus 125 to the Yankees. As I said before, we had the Royals with the plus 165 today. And then we also had the over 9 with the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. So there it is, 61-1 on the bet today, and I like it. I love it. I want some more of it, as my man would say, as my country folks would say. So pretty much that's where we're going with this one. And MLB PrimeTime PK6, 61-1. I love it. And there it is. That's our talking tickets for today. And hopefully we go ahead and get that bad boy home, man, because we're getting to the final parts of the season. And we know we got to cash out one more big ticket before we get done with this. So with that, I want to thank you guys very much for tuning in today. I'll be back tomorrow, NFL Bet Exchange with Jeff Dawson. And then also I'll have the PrimeTime Angles at noon. And it hasn't been confirmed yet, but most likely I'll be on Mike's show as well tomorrow, talking NFL, talking MLB, and talking about whatever he wants me to talk about. So there it is. This is the PrimeTime Angles Live with the one and only Pop DiBiase, PrimeTime Capper. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. This is the premier sports betting show. As I always say, bet with your head, bet and not with your heart. The movement is moving, and I am gone.
From the East and the West, you've heard others, but now you've tuned into the best. This is a Prime Wave Media production.